Hi, my name is Erin Gall, and I'm the chair of the Small Business Committee for the Rocky Mount Area Chamber of Commerce. And we're here today to welcome, or to congratulate rather, Bullock Furniture Company for the April Small Business of the Month win. And we're here with Martha and Russ Barnes. Martha, you're I guess the Kinchlow Bullock line. So can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, your role and how you grew up in a 120-year business?
Well, this is all I've ever known. It's been a lot of fun for us to see the business change from when my dad was involved when I was a little girl, and the start of Wildwood after that, outside Bullock's downtown. I remember a little bit about the time when my great-grandfather was running it. I certainly remember when my grandfather ran it, and it's been nice to see the business evolve over the years.
I know you're a staple of downtown Rocky Mount. I think of Rocky Mount in general. I came here over 20 years ago for college, and my dad still comes back to Bullock's with his wife to get more things every year. That's a stop when he visits. How did you fall into the furniture business once you got married? Did you just jump right in, or did you have prior experience?
Well, first, thank you very much. We're honored to receive this recognition. I've been at Wildwood for a little over 30 years now, but Martha and I dated for 9 years, and during that period of time I got to know the family and the business pretty well. So when I came back to ask her dad if I could marry her, he said, let's talk about you coming to work for me. So
got to get you in the family business
that's
first.
Right. It was a package deal.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are so excited. They're getting ready to have their annual warehouse sale. And I think equally as old business, so building, so it pairs well. We're excited to see where you go in the next 120 years and how many more generations will be there. But we look forward to hearing more about you and seeing what wonderful things you have for sale.
Thank you.
Thank you and
very
congratulations.
Much. We appreciate it.
Russ and Martha, this is exciting. I mean, this is something that every year people really look forward to, isn't it?
They do. We have people contacting us in November saying, when is the sale going to be? It's every January, but people still check in to make sure.
And because of COVID, you delayed it until the first weekend in April, right?
We did. We wanted to get past the period where a lot of people have been vaccinated and the rate of transmission had dropped a lot. We wanted everybody to feel comfortable. It's a warehouse and a warehouse sale, and you need to wear your tennis shoes and come to it, but we're going to require people to be masked and socially distanced. Do the best we can in a 68,000 square foot warehouse.
Well, but you still expect probably the same lines. I mean, people line up outside waiting. I mean, socially distanced probably coming in, but this is one of the biggest events in all of Rocky Mount. I mean, we are so glad that you continue doing it. And Martha, I remember for years you moved it around different places, but now this is your permanent home right across from basically Church of the Good Shepherd.
That's right. This is where we are every year, and of course it started back in 1987 down at the furniture store, inside the furniture store itself, when my grandfather was running Bullock's.
And that was Hatcher Kinchlow, so people recognize that name.
That's right. And it grew and grew and grew, and as Wildwood grew, we had that much more merchandise that we wanted to sell to the public, and it just worked out that we would choose a space in Rocky Mount that was vacant at the time, so we would move all the merchandise to that location, have the sale, and then leave and come back to another location maybe the next year. But when we left Bullock's the very first time, we went to the old Belk building on Church Street, the backside of Church Street, and it's just evolved from there. But this is our permanent home, and it works very well, and I think it'll work great from a socially distanced standpoint.
Oh yeah, and the variety of things. I mean, to think that, I mean, you have to have a place this big to accommodate, because the lamps, I mean, people update their lamps and get new, and y'all, if you have those bell shades, they're not, you can come in and get the new one and make all your lamps look brand new, or buy a new lamp or a new chandelier. I mean, the variety. Russ, tell us the variety of what you have here.
Well, it spans the spectrum between furniture, lighting, decorative accessories, and wall decor as well. We have a large retail business, but we also have a wholesale business, and so we're generating samples and scratch and dent And actually, like Martha was saying, the sales grown so much, we moved around. It's gotten so big that we're actually sourcing product just for the sale, things like the outdoor pots that we use. And we've included from the main store leather furniture and outdoor furniture as well. So it's a huge spectrum of product. Thank goodness we've got a big building having it. We've been just about everywhere in Rocky Mount, from the old theater to old Lowe's to Kmart. We've moved around. But we were really fortunate when we were able to buy this 1924 tobacco warehouse, 68,000 square feet, that we can dedicate just for the sale.
And you have heat and air here too, if there might be people who
We have heat, but no air. But we've got a lot of doors and windows, and that's typically why we always like to have the sale in January. It's a perfect time, and while we won't have the sale now, now that things have improved with COVID, it's a good time to have it before we get to the summer and the hot summer months. Nobody will want to be here in a tobacco warehouse in the middle of July.
Oh yeah, and you're going through the whole month of April.
That's right, 4 weekends starting April 10th. It'll be 4 weekends and a couple of days on the side, each side of the weekend.
And so, but if you miss it, because this is Small Business of the Month, we're celebrating the annual sale, but also next year, you can count
That's
on
right.
it again. And hopefully by
Back in
next year,
January, hopefully,
yeah.
back on our regular schedule.
And the prices are just fantastic. And as the sale goes on, your father, Bill, I would see him walking around kind of marking through things, dropping prices. So toward the end, they might not have as good a selection if they want to wait, though. But God,
But the bargains are better.
Bargains are fantastic.
They're great bargains throughout the sale. The prices are discounted substantially. And some of the things are scratch and dent, so they're priced accordingly. But there are other things, as Russ mentioned, the samples, they're one of a kind. So people can come and get things that they won't find anywhere else.
I bet you have a lot of interior decorators in here buying for their clients and then marking them up. So come get them for yourself, right?
Absolutely. There's a lot to choose from. If you come in here and can't find something, I'd be very surprised. There's a tremendous amount of variety from styles. We've got a lot of Italian pottery. We've got anything from very contemporary to very traditional. And the lampshade selection is phenomenal. People, we encourage you, if you have a lamp that you want to exchange the lampshade for, bring your lamp with you. We have ladies who are experts at choosing the proper shade. So that's a big part of what we do as well.
And speaking of the ladies who are expert, I always find, because I'm not an interior decorator, but I get great advice. I mean, you hire people who are here, and we're going to talk to Eliza Bowen, who is the big boss. But they've worked here so long, and they do have designer skills. And so if you're not sure what you want or what might fit, come in and ask their opinion. They're always very willing to help you.
Absolutely. We've got a great staff here. When you do a once-a-year sale like this, that's a challenge, but Rocky Mount's such a great city, and there's so many friends of Eliza's who are willing to come help us out in getting ready, and also on the days when we're open for retail. It takes about a month to get ready for the sale, put everything out, get it priced.
And the economic impact, that's one of the many things that I think a lot of people don't realize. You bring in dollars to Rocky Mount from how big a geographic area would you say?
Well, we advertise pretty much the whole state of North Carolina, Virginia, South Carolina, but we have people coming from all over the country, people on our mailing list, from California, and usually have a relative lives here, or they used to live here or something like that, but we have people come from everywhere. So it's a big geographic area. We really, Eastern North Carolina is great, but the Research Triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill is incredible. People who are building a new home or bought a new home, it's a wide variety. And also we have a lot of stagers, people who buy product to help stage these homes that are for sale these days. People bring their U-Haul truck with them and box truck and load up.
Oh, I want to talk about Wildwood lamps. So because Bullock Furniture started first, and we're honoring a 120-year-old business. Y'all have hung in there downtown in various economic states, but when was Wildwood Lamp started?
Wildwood was started about 55 years ago, 1968, I think it was, and basically started in a warehouse back behind Bullock's. I remember as a child fixing dinner at home, and my mom and my two sisters would get in the car and we'd drive down to Bullock's, and my dad would change from his suit when he was running Bullock's to his coveralls to go in, work, and make lamps in the warehouse behind the store. We would bring dinner down, have dinner with him, and then we'd go home and go to bed as young children, and he would continue to work. So it's been a family business that a lot of our family has been involved in, and our son Whit is now 5th generation in the furniture side of the business. So it's exciting for us to keep the family involved, and it's exciting to think about what my father, Bill, as you referred to, was able to do in a warehouse right behind the retail furniture store that his grandfather started.
And now they're in a different location, but y'all market all over the world with Wildwood, don't you? And what about Jonathan Charles? I know y'all have sold that, but that's really neat. Y'all started a furniture company, right?
We did. We partnered with a British guy and started a furniture company called Jonathan Charles in 2004. Sold that a couple of years ago.
Where was that? I mean, where was the work done for that? In Indonesia?
Vietnam.
Okay.
That was there. And the product we have here, we source at wherever we can find the artisans around the world. So we're in about 10 different countries where we're sourcing product, a lot domestically as well these days. But it's a lot of moving pieces with the design, the production, and the sales. We are selling retailers, interior designers, hotels. We've got products in some of the finest hotels in the country. One of our big projects.
Can you name drop?
Oh yeah, I mean, Four Seasons and Ritz-Carlton's, lots of those. Waldorf Astoria in Park City, Utah. We just did a big project there. The most recent big project is the World Equestrian Center in Ocala, Florida. We just shipped them 700 lamps, 700 of our nicest lamps. They'll be opening up this summer, but it's a big horse resort where you can sit there and have lunch on the patio with the horses in the grounds right outside. Ocala is apparently a big horse country.
Well, and Jonathan Charles, I mean, what gorgeous furniture. It looked like a lot of older woods were used in that, and the craftsmanship and the detail is just marvelous. Who designed that furniture?
It was a combination of people. A guy named Jonathan Souter, our partner on it, was a British guy. He really steered most of the product development, but most of it was really driven by antiques, antique reproductions. You look in the Sotheby's and Christie's catalog. As with a lot of the product you have here, it's inspired by some antique from many years ago, and you can take a very traditional piece and make it transitional by changing a few things. A lot of the traditional that these days they call it the fresh traditional, or today's traditional, to distinguish between kind of the old wooden furniture, brown stuff, and the pieces that look more up to date in styling.
Well, and I think young people, I hope they get back to more of the brown stuff to blend, but I'm seeing in a lot of catalogs now, for a while it went more the modern look, the less expensive stuff, but now they're integrating the more timely pieces in them.
Yeah, the New York Times Weekend Magazine had an article about 8 years ago that says, "Your children don't want your brown furniture." And that was about the time that the evolution really changed away from the antique reproduction, to people kind of mixing and matching. You might have a 100-year-old dining table, but you've got some dining chairs that have been painted a high sheen white lacquer to mix with it, and just a blending of old and new. And that's what you see a lot of here. That's how people decorate. They don't put a matchy set of furniture in their dining room. It's going to be a mix of things. So we've got some brown furniture, but as you can see, we've got a lot of the painted furniture, some great looking pieces, a lot of color these days, which is fun to me. I mean, I feel like I work at a completely different business than I did just 20 years ago. Same company, same place I sit every day, but it has really very little to do with the way the business used to be.
But coming here, I mean, the quality of what you have, but you've got it at great prices. I mean, these are one time a year type price that people can get this stuff for. But it's almost like a treasure hunt. I mean, you see people kind of watching people, hoping they'll put something back so they can grab it.
And the minute somebody says, "Where'd you find that?" That means it's sold. Because if they think someone else wants it, they're going to hang on to it. So it's fun. We have a good time watching people, listening to people, seeing what they pick. It helps us to determine what kinds of new products we need to keep adding to the line based on what people come here and choose.
Well, my late husband, Aubrey Almand, is a good friend, or was a good friend of your father's, and he was talking about your dad used to go over to the Orient or to Asia a lot. Does he still, or do y'all go? Who goes to Asia now to buy?
I go as often as I can. I'm having withdrawals right now. Did you know that Aubrey was one of the first people to travel overseas with Bill?
No, I didn't know
When
that.
Bill finally started buying direct with the overseas factories, he got a trip put together and Aubrey went with him. And they went to Japan, Hong Kong, a couple other places. But yeah, there's a great story. You have to get Bill on sometime to tell you the story. But he was right there at the very beginning of Wildwood. But yeah, it's a big production just to go source and work with the factories to get product development. We've got a lot of designers designing product for us, unique pieces here. And so traveling overseas is a big part of it. I haven't been overseas since February of last year. Last place I was in India and Germany. So I've missed
India,
about 4 trips overseas since last February.
Do you go, Martha?
I go every so often. I've been to Vietnam and a couple times to Italy, but I also have a job outside of the company, and so it doesn't allow me to travel quite as much. But I do go some. It's grueling when you're there. The time changes are tough, but he loves it, and so it works.
This was a good marriage, wasn't it? I mean, you were just made for this
Definitely.
position with the family. So.
Very good marriage.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a break, and I'm going to talk to the big boss.
She is
she's
the
in
person who
charge.
runs the show around here.
Great. And also, you have got a lady here from New Bern who bought an empty 5-bedroom house and furnished it entirely from here. And she loves this so much that she's working for y'all this year.
Now an
too.
employee, how about that?
Okay, but I want to talk to y'all at the end also, because we want to talk about we talked about that you bring a lot of money to town, but y'all have always been very good with your time and talent, investing back in our community too. You give back very well. So we'll be
Thank you.
talking to you in a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Folks, we have to have the big boss. And she even has a name tag, Big Boss, Eliza.
That'd be me.
Eliza Bowen. And how long have you been the big boss?
26 years.
Really?
Every year I say I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I remember at the end of last year you said you weren't doing it again. Describe when you see people come in maybe who've never come before, and then we're going to talk about people who are regulars, because I'm sure you have a lot of
Oh,
regulars.
yeah, a lot of those.
What's the reaction you see?
Well, mainly they come rushing in and they don't know what to do. And they don't know they should bring a blanket to cover their stuff that they're going to hide on the side. And they try to get the grocery carts, and then they really don't know how to do it. And then they realize they can buy a vase and we can make it into a lamp right over there, and we'll help them put a shade on it.
And help them pick out the shade.
help
and
them
the
pick out the
finial. I
shade.
mean, everything.
We help them do all of that, and then we help them pay.
And you carry it to the car for them. I mean, you help them get it to the car.
We get it to the car. We have to watch the people that want to buy the big artwork. They always think it'll fit in their car. And I have learned over the years now, I say, what kind of car do you have? Because that's not going in that door of your car. And they still say it will, and it won't. So,
And
you know,
furniture, they can pay to have it delivered, right?
they can pay to have it delivered, and we will deliver all the way to the coast, and we have different prices for that. They all think they can get it in their car too.
Well, as people walk around, and I'm not good with detail and decorating and whatnot, and so I like that you have a lot of people here who are the same people every year, and they really have great taste. They can visualize better than a lot of people. You might not have an artsy brain, but you have a lot of repeat employees here, and they're great and very willing to offer advice, right?
Oh, they love to offer advice. They're good at it, most of them. Not all of them, but most of them are really good at it. They like doing it. They like helping people. The best employees ever. And most of these are older ladies. This year we don't have as many because of COVID, but they've loved working here. We have a good time, and they like the customers. They really do.
Well, and it starts the weekend of April 3rd. So
No, April 10th.
April 10th. Oh,
That was a
the week
mis-
after Easter.
That was a mistake. yes.
Okay, yeah, because I got a card about that. So April 10th, folks, and it's going to go for 4 weekends?
4 weekends, and, well, not just weekends. We do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, 5 days.
Okay, and when do you start marking down? If people want to risk that some of the stuff they might want is gone. I mean, I think a lot of people come many, many times, right? Not just once.
But we have a week in there where we close. We're open on Sunday and we close all week to restock. We don't just mark down, we bring in more stuff.
Great.
So we close that week and restock, and bill marks down, and then we open up for 2 more weeks.
And you have in the past, and I'm wondering if you're having it this year, kind of a table for kind of more expensive stuff?
We do. It's right up there, Bill. They're really nice antiques, old antiques, and he's very proud of those, and he does not mark them down. So
Okay.
they're
Well, I remember getting a
expensive.
couple of little vases that had been in his house, actually.
A lot of
last
this
year.
stuff has been in their family for a long time.
Oh, okay.
And we get all kinds of, like this year, we've got a whole rack of designer fabric samples.
I saw that.
And they are big enough, most of them, to do a chair bottom or a footstool or whatever. So
And you've had Vietri china here before?
we've had Vietri for several years. You just never know. We have Girl Scout cookies here.
And outdoor furniture. I mean, you really have a big outdoor, excuse me, furniture section.
Yep.
Folks, there's just about everything you could want, but I really do think if your lampshades have been like mine and my mom's, my mother-in-law's, whatnot, they get dry rotted over
They do.
time. And to have come in and give a whole new look to your lamp for a very reasonable price.
But yeah, and people say, well, how much are lampshades somewhere else? Well, a lot of places lampshades are $100, and ours are not.
Every shape, every size, everything you could ever imagine.
And
for
a
those.
lampshade can change a lamp totally.
And I'm looking here, like you've got, if people want pairs of lamps and stuff too, you've
We
got
have
a lot of
those.
those. And like you said, you can buy vases and take them over, and some of them already have some of the beginnings of a lamp. They just need the harp and the lampshade and whatnot. But what about a vase with a hole in the bottom? They can take a pure vase and get it made into a lamp.
They
too,
can go
right?
over there and pick out a base, and then we have a wonderful lady called Starlene that will make it into a lamp for you, and then you go back over here and get your shade. So it's fun, and a lot of people just come because it's fun. And there's one cute girl from Richmond that I met several years ago, and I said, "Oh, I wish I'd known you were coming." My daughter lives in Richmond. She said, "Well, whatever it was," and I went home and got it, and she took it. She's now my new best friend.
Wow.
But they come from all over, so it's the people that I like, and the people that work the sale are just outstanding people.
And having this big, and y'all can't see it, but it's a huge high ceiling. They're going to be very, very careful with COVID, so everybody's preparing for that.
Yep.
So, and most of us have already had our second vaccine, or an awful lot of us have. So,
Yeah, I've had both mine.
well, we are going to talk to Linda Benson, who
Okay.
furnished an entire house.
Yeah, I know,
last
I
year,
know.
And now you've recruited her to work for you.
I'm just tickled, and of course I keep telling Russ, if it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be here.
If it weren't for you, a lot of things wouldn't happen.
Wow.
Big boss.
The
Eliza,
big boss. That's
Thank
me.
you so much.
You're so welcome.
Be right back. Linda Benson, we wanted you as a satisfied customer. Tell us about your journey.
Oh my goodness. Well, last year I decided to get out of the DC area and started looking, found a house in New Bern that had been on the market almost 3 years. It was 3 times the size of what I was moving from. So I had 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, and lots of rooms to fill. And it was the gigantic warehouse sale. So I was literally up here almost every day. I was even here on the last day, and I got fabulous stuff the whole time. The vanities, all the dressers that I got, I used as vanities in the bathrooms. The last day, I got a beautiful center island for my kitchen for like $6,000 center island for $150, and it looks fabulous. And I got lamps and other buffets.
Pictures? Did you get pictures?
I got not too many pictures, but I got mirrors. I got all the mirrors from my bathrooms, and so I got a dressing table for my bathroom.
And it's beautiful quality. I mean, isn't it really?
Oh, they were
pretty stuff?
stunning. They were stunning. They were like 10% of retail, and yeah, I couldn't have afforded to do what I did without this.
And so you came last year, and you're back this year?
I'm back this year because it was so much fun. So I talked to a lot of the ladies who were absolutely delightful, and I found out, how do you work it? So I called them, and they said, well, we're doing it. So I've driven a couple times from New Bern. I will drive several more times, and yeah. So.
And I bet you found the ladies, the people who work here, are really friendly and helpful too, aren't they?
Oh, they're adorable. They're just really, really nice. Yes.
Well, good. Well, and so you want to encourage everybody to come because it's the deal of a lifetime? Right?
It really is, and it's like Christmas every day when I'm here. So, so it's just fun. It's just really, really fun.
Great. Well, thank you, and welcome to Rocky Mount.
Okay, thank you.
Martha and Russ, welcome back. One thing that really matters in this award is what you give back to the community, because people can take out of the community, but Bullock has a long history of giving back. Martha, I know you've got relatives who've chaired the chamber. Your mama has served in various leadership roles. Kind of tell us a little bit about things that have meant a lot to your family.
Sure. Well, I think a couple of things that have been particularly important to our family are things where we feel as though we are doing good for the community. Russ and I both grew up in Rocky Mount. Both of my parents grew up in Rocky Mount. And we feel like this is home. We really believe in this community and want to make sure that we support it. Some of the organizations that we have supported over the years, Salvation Army, North Carolina Wesleyan College, Boys and Girls Club, and we certainly support our churches and other civic organizations that are important within this community. So it is important to us. We know that we've been very fortunate, and we want to make sure that we're able to give back.
And the United Way, too. I think that's
the
one
United
thing
Way, yes, absolutely. No question about it. That's been a big organization. Meals on Wheels. The list, goes on. And it's our pleasure to be able to participate with those organizations.
And with your time and talent. But,
Sure.
I mean, you really have done a lot with giving back. And economically, Russ, this sale, and again, it's April, you got to come, folks. I mean, this is the place to be. And buy stuff you don't even need. I mean, it's very tempting, especially.
You might need it down the road.
Yeah, and if somebody says, I might want that or something, then you got to grab it, because otherwise they might take it and you won't get it. And it's falling off. But talk again about the economic impact of this and what this brings to Rocky Mount.
Well, we're very invested in Rocky Mount economically because of this long-term relationship with the city, but also because this is, we want to support downtown in particular. This warehouse is in downtown Rocky Mount. We've got the Bullock store. We've kept it in downtown Rocky Mount on Church Street. We've got Wildwood, which is in South Rocky Mount, still not far from downtown.
And you hire a lot of people. I mean, good
We
jobs.
do. We've got a lot of people that work for us. Over the course of a year, it's a couple hundred people that are on the payroll. Our sons have just bought a building down on Sunset Avenue and done a renovation of it on Sorsby's Alley. So even our kids, two boys, Whit and Robert, now are reinvesting in downtown Rocky Mount. So it's important to us, and the retail sales that come out of this, the people that we hire for this, it's all part of the package.
And people stay in hotels, and people pay sales tax, and I mean, you're just economically, this is really important.
Yeah, the restaurants in Rocky Mount with all the people. I mean, we would say that about 80% of sales come from people outside of Rocky Mount at this stage of the game. And all those people are going to go eat lunch somewhere in Rocky Mount or dinner. A lot of people spend the night. So that's important. Retail sales tax is a big part of it as well. So we feel good about doing our part, trying hard to support the city and downtown in particular.
Well, and on behalf of the chamber and on behalf of somebody who loves Rocky Mount like you do, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean. Thank you for all you do.
Oh, you're welcome. And I will be seeing y'all on the first weekend in April. And again, every year they're hoping to go back to January next year. But this is a have-to-attend event. Even if you don't think you want or need anything, it's an experience. And trust me, you'll find something.
Oh, just come see it, for sure.
Thank you, and congratulations.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Have a great day.